我的不是电影，哪有新闻？
Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. So people was saying, but it was a lie, all a lie. I only whacked my mother 18 times, not 40. It happened on August 4th, 1892, in Fall River, Massachusetts. It was a warm summer's morning, a little after 11 a.m. The air in the parlor hung heavy, thick with the scent of lilies and something else, something metallic and faintly sweet. Father lay sprawled on the sofa, his eyes staring vacantly at the ornate ceiling. A grotesque parody of a peaceful slumber, his face a mask of, well, let's just say he wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. Bridget, bless her oblivious soul, scurried in, her face a picture of wide-eyed concern. "Miss Lizzie." "Oh, Miss Lizzie, whatever is the meaning of this?" I gestured towards the unfortunate spectacle on the sofa, a chillingly casual elegance in my voice. "Father, you see, has taken ill. A sudden indisposition." I allowed a dramatic pause to hang in the air, savoring the way Bridget's eyes widened, the way her lips trembled. "Oh, the poor dear," she gasped, rushing towards him. "I'll fetch Dr. Gray immediately." "No, Bridget," I said, my voice firm. "There's no need. The doctor won't be able to help him now." Bridget, bless her simple mind, didn't seem to grasp the finality in my tone. She fumbled with her apron, her gaze darting between Father's lifeless form and me. "But, Miss Lizzie, he's gone, Bridget," I finished for her, a cruel smile playing on my lips. "Gone to a better place." The rest of the morning was a whirlwind of feigned distress, whispered condolences, and the inevitable arrival of the authorities. Detective Jennings, a man with eyes like cold flint, scrutinized the scene with the detached curiosity of a coroner examining a particularly gruesome specimen. "Tragic," he murmured, his gaze lingering on the grotesque wounds marring Father's face. "A most unfortunate turn of events." I feigned a shudder. "Indeed, Detective, such a senseless accident." He raised an eyebrow, a flicker of suspicion in his eyes. "Accident, Miss Borden?" "I'm not so sure." I met his gaze, my own eyes wide and innocent. "But, Detective, what else could it be? Perhaps a burglar?" He chuckled, a dry, humorless sound. "Burglars tend to make off with valuables, Miss Borden, not leave such personal calling cards." He gestured towards Father's mangled features. I feigned a gasp. "Oh dear, how gruesome." He continued to study the scene, his gaze sweeping over the room, lingering on the bloodstains that I'd so carefully cleaned up. I watched him, a thrill of anticipation coursing through me. Was he onto me? Did he suspect? He turned to me, his expression unreadable. "Miss Borden, where were you during the time of your father's demise?" "In the barn, Detective," I replied promptly. I was tending to the hens." "And no one saw you?" "No one, Detective. The barn is quite secluded." He nodded slowly, his eyes narrowing. "And what of your stepmother, Mrs. Borden? Where was she?" A chilling smile touched my lips. "Upstairs, I believe. In her room." His eyes flickered towards the staircase. "And you didn't hear anything?" "Nothing, Detective. Just the sound of the hens clucking." He regarded me for a long moment, his gaze piercing. Then, with a curt nod, he turned and left the room. The rest of the day was a blur of whispers and hushed conversations. The news of Father's death spread through the town like wildfire, reaching my ears in distorted fragments. A brutal murder, a family feud, a gruesome spectacle. But the whispers didn't bother me. They only fueled the fire in my soul. Father, with his iron grip on the purse strings, his constant disapproval, his disdain for my aspirations. He was an obstacle, a roadblock in my path to the life I craved. And now he was gone, and soon Abby would follow. The opportunity presented itself that afternoon. Abby, oblivious to the danger lurking within her own home, was napping in her room. The house was eerily silent, the only sound the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall. I crept up the stairs, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The axe, heavy and blunt, felt reassuringly solid in my grasp. I paused outside her door, taking a deep breath, savoring the anticipation. Then I struck. The first blow was a misfire, glancing off her arm. Abby shrieked, a blood-curdling sound that echoed through the house. I panicked, but quickly regained my composure. I swung again and again and again. The silence that followed was deafening. I stood over her lifeless form, my breath coming in ragged gasps, the axe slipping from my numb fingers. I stared at her, a macabre fascination gripping me. The blood, a crimson stain against the pristine white sheets, was a work of art, a testament to my creativity. I had to clean up, of course, dispose of the weapon, erase any trace of my involvement. It was a delicate dance, a game of cat and mouse with the invisible eyes of suspicion. But I was meticulous, thorough. I would leave no evidence, no trace. And so I became a master of deception, pulling the strings of fate. I convinced them it was an intruder, a rogue, a phantom of the night. I played the grieving daughter, my eyes brimming with crocodile tears, my voice choked with sobs. The trial was a spectacle, a circus. The courtroom, packed with curious onlookers, buzzed with excitement. The prosecution, fueled by sensationalism, painted me as a cold-blooded murderess, a viper in the bosom of her own family. But I was prepared. I had crafted a flawless alibi, a web of deceit that would ensnare them all. I played the innocent, the victim, the heartbroken daughter. And the jury, swayed by my performance, by the lack of concrete evidence, acquitted me. I walked out of that courtroom, a free woman, vindicated. But the whispers followed me, clinging to me like a shroud. Lizzie Borden, the axe woman, they called me. But I didn't care. I had achieved my goal. I had silenced my enemies, eliminated the obstacles in my path, and now I was free to live the life I had always craved, a life of luxury and indulgence, a life where I was finally in control. And as for Father and Abby, they were merely inconveniences. The lilies I noticed had wilted. It was time to replace them with something more vibrant, something that better suited the new me.